The large hotel hall was full of people. Bright lights shined from the ceiling. Soft music played in the background. This was a famous business event where powerful people came to meet investors, partners, and media. Everyone wore expensive suits and confident smiles. Among the crowd was a black woman named Ariana Lewis. She was calm and well-dressed, but not flashy. Her suit was simple and neat. She carried herself with quiet confidence. Many people did not notice her at first. Ariana was used to this. She had learned long ago that real power did not need noise. Ariana had worked very hard to reach this place. She grew up in a small neighborhood where money was always tight. Her mother worked long hours, and her father taught her the value of honesty. Ariana studied day and night. She failed many times, but she never stopped. Over the years, she built a strong career in finance. She invested wisely and helped many small businesses grow. Still, she preferred to stay out of the spotlight. At the other side of the hall stood Ethan Crow, the CEO of a fast-growing tech company. He was tall, confident, and loud. People surrounded him, laughing at his jokes. He enjoyed the attention. He believed he had earned everything through his own talent. Ethan was known for being smart, but also known for his pride. As the evening went on, guests lined up to greet Ethan. Handshakes were exchanged, business cards passed, and smiles shared. When Ariana's turn came, she stepped forward calmly. She looked Ethan in the eyes and extended her hand. For a brief moment, Ethan looked at her hand. His smile faded slightly. He did not take it. Instead, he pulled his hand back and turned toward another guest. He began speaking as if Ariana was not there. The moment felt heavy. A few people nearby noticed. Some looked uncomfortable. Others pretended not to see. Ariana slowly lowered her hand. Her face stayed calm, but inside she felt the familiar sting of disrespect. She took a quiet breath. She did not argue. She did not raise her voice. She simply nodded slightly and stepped away. Ariana had learned that sometimes silence spoke louder than anger. As she walked away, she heard soft whispers behind her. Some people judged. Some felt sorry. But no one stopped her. Ariana did not let it slow her steps. She moved toward a quieter corner of the hall. Standing alone, she looked around. She saw people trying hard to impress each other. She saw fake smiles and forced laughter. Ariana reminded herself why she was there. She was not there to be liked. She was there for opportunity. Her phone buzzed gently in her hand. She checked a message from her assistant. It was a simple update about a fund she managed. Everything was moving as planned. Ariana smiled faintly. The world did not stop because of one rude moment. Across the hall, Ethan continued enjoying the night. He felt powerful. He told himself he did not need to greet everyone. In his mind, some people were more important than others. He did not give Ariana another thought. As the event began to end, Ariana prepared to leave. Before walking out, she took one last look at the room. She had seen enough. She adjusted her jacket and walked toward the exit with her head held high. Outside, the night air was cool and quiet. Ariana felt calm again. She had faced moments like this before. Each time she chose to rise above it. She believed in patience and timing. What Ethan did not know was simple but important. Ariana Lewis was not just another guest. She was a major investor with influence over funds that could shape futures. Her decisions could build companies or stop deals without noise or drama. As Ariana stepped into her car, she looked ahead, not back. Tomorrow was another day, and sometimes, tomorrow changed everything. The next morning began quietly for Ariana Lewis. Sunlight came through the large window of her apartment. The city outside was already awake. Cars moved fast and people hurried to work. Ariana stood near the window with a warm cup of tea in her hands. She looked calm, but her mind was active. She thought about the event from the night before. Not with anger, but with clarity. The refused handshake stayed in her memory, not as pain, but as information. Ariana believed every action showed a person's true nature. Ethan Crow had shown his. Ariana sat at her desk and opened her laptop. Her workspace was clean and simple, no trophies, no big photos. Only documents, notes, and quiet focus. She checked reports from her investment firm. Numbers mattered to her. Data mattered. Respect mattered too. One report caught her attention. It was about a tech company that was expanding very fast. The name was familiar. It was Ethan Crow's company. Ariana leaned back slightly. She read carefully. The company was growing, but not stable. Cash flow was tight. A large funding round was planned soon. Without it, the company could face serious trouble. Ariana already knew this. Her firm was connected to a private investment group. This group had strong influence. They often stayed behind the scenes. They did not seek attention. They watched, waited, and decided carefully. At the same time, across the city, Ethan Crow walked into his office with confidence. His glass office looked over the skyline. He felt proud every time he stepped inside. Employees greeted him with respect. Some even looked nervous around him. Ethan sat at his desk and checked his schedule. Meetings filled the day. One meeting stood out. It was about funding. His assistant entered the room with a serious face. "There is a concern," she said carefully. Ethan looked up, annoyed. "What concern?" "The lead investor group has paused their decision," she said. "They are reviewing leadership values." Ethan laughed lightly. "That's normal," he said. "They need us more than we need them." But as the morning continued, the mood changed. Emails came in, calls followed. The funding discussion was not moving forward. The words were polite, but the meaning was clear. Something was wrong. Back at her office, Ariana joined a video call with her partners. The faces on the screen respected her deeply. They trusted her judgment. "We need to decide carefully," Ariana said in a calm voice. "This company has potential, but leadership behavior matters." One partner nodded. "We heard about the event last night," he said. "It raised concerns." Ariana did not add drama. She did not exaggerate. She simply shared what happened. A refused handshake, public disrespect, quiet arrogance. "This is not about feelings," Ariana said. "It is about values." A leader represents the future of a company. The partners agreed. They decided to pause support until further review. As the day passed, Ethan's confidence slowly weakened. His team looked worried. Numbers on screens did not look friendly anymore. A deal he expected to close easily now felt far away. By late afternoon, Ethan sat alone in his office. The city outside still looked the same, but his world felt different. He replayed the event in his mind. Faces, conversations. One face returned again and again. The woman he ignored. He searched the guest list from the event. One name stood out, Ariana Lewis. Ethan typed her name into his computer. The results surprised him. Articles, financial reports, quiet success stories, influence without noise. His throat felt dry. He finally understood something important. The woman he refused to shake hands with was not small. She was powerful in ways he did not understand yet. Across the city, Ariana closed her laptop and prepared to leave for the day. She felt peaceful. She had not raised her voice. She had not demanded anything. She simply stood by her values. She knew one truth very well. When respect is missing, consequences often follow. The night fell slowly over the city, but inside Ethan Crow's office, the lights were still on. He sat alone at his desk, staring at his computer screen. The numbers did not make sense anymore. Just 2 days ago, everything looked strong. Now, everything felt uncertain. Ethan rubbed his forehead and leaned back in his chair. He told himself this was just a delay. Still, a quiet fear began to grow inside him. He was not used to waiting. He was not used to doubt. His phone buzzed. It was a message from his chief financial officer. "We need to talk first thing in the morning. This is serious." Ethan did not reply. He already knew. At the same time, in a quiet part of the city, Ariana Lewis finished her evening walk. She liked walking at night. It helped her think clearly. The streets were calm and the noise of the day had faded. She believed silence helped reveal the truth. She did not think about revenge. She never did. Ariana believed life had its own balance. When people acted without respect, consequences often came naturally. The next morning arrived fast. Ethan entered the company boardroom early. The room was cold and serious. One by one, his senior team arrived. No one joked. No one smiled. The CFO stood and spoke carefully. "If we do not secure the next round of funding within weeks, we will face major problems. Expansion plans will stop." Now, the word layoffs hit hard. Ethan felt his chest tighten. This company was his pride. He built it from nothing. Or so he believed. "Why is this happening?" he asked sharply. The CFO hesitated. "The lead investor group has concerns about leadership image and values. They are watching closely." Ethan's mind went back to the business event, the refused handshake, the quiet woman. He felt a wave of shame, but he pushed it away. After the meeting, Ethan locked himself in his office. He searched again. Ariana Lewis. He read more slowly this time. He saw how many companies trusted her, how many lives she changed without showing off. For the first time in years, Ethan felt small. Across town, Ariana arrived at her office early. She believed in routine. Her assistant handed her a folder. "More updates on the tech company," the assistant said. Ariana nodded. She reviewed the notes. The company was asking questions, indirect questions, quiet questions. "They will reach out soon," the assistant said. Ariana did not answer. She already knew. Back at his office, Ethan stared at his reflection in the glass wall. He remembered his early days, the struggles, the doors closed in his face. He had promised himself never to be weak again. Somewhere along the way, strength turned into pride. He picked up his phone. He started typing an email. Then he stopped. He deleted it. His hands were shaking slightly. By afternoon, the pressure became too much. Ethan asked his assistant to gather information. He wanted contact details. He wanted a meeting. "Do it respectfully," the assistant said softly. Ethan looked up. The word respectfully stayed with him. As the sun set, Ariana received an email request. It was formal, polite, careful. The tone was very different from the man she saw at the event. She read it once. Then she closed her laptop. She did not feel proud. She did not feel happy. She felt thoughtful. This was not about power. It was about principle. That evening, Ariana sat by her window again. The city lights shined below. She thought about the future, about choices. She believed people could change, but change required humility. Across the city, Ethan waited for a reply that did not come. The silence felt heavier than any words. For the first time in his career, Ethan Crow understood a simple truth. Respect could not be delayed. The following day began with tension for Ethan Crow. He woke up earlier than usual, his mind already racing. The silence in his large home felt uncomfortable. Normally, mornings filled him with confidence. Today they filled him with worry. On his way to the office, he looked out the car window and barely noticed the city around him. His phone stayed quiet. No reply, no update. The silence from Ariana Lewis was louder than any rejection. At the office, his team was already waiting. Faces looked tired. The energy had changed. People spoke softly now. Every delay felt dangerous. Ethan called another meeting. This time, he did not sit at the head of the table. He chose a side seat instead. It surprised everyone. "We need to be honest," Ethan said. His voice was calm but serious. "We made mistakes." The room stayed quiet. No one expected this. "Our future depends on trust," he continued. "And trust depends on how we treat people." Some team members exchanged looks. They saw something new in him. Not weakness, but awareness. Meanwhile, across town, Ariana arrived at a private meeting room owned by her investment group. The room was simple and quiet. No logos, no decorations. Just a long table and soft light. Her partners joined her one by one. They discussed several companies, including Ethan's. Ariana listened more than she spoke. "One request for a meeting has come in," a partner said, from Ethan Crow. Ariana nodded slowly. "Yes," she said. "I received it. What do you think?" Another partner asked. Ariana paused. "A meeting is not a reward," she said. "It is a responsibility. If he wants to talk, we must be clear about our values." The partners agreed. They trusted her judgment. Back at the office, Ethan walked through the open workspace. Employees looked up as he passed. Some looked nervous, others looked hopeful. Ethan realized something painful. His behavior shaped this entire environment. He stopped by a desk where a young employee sat quietly. "How are things going?" Ethan asked. The employee looked shocked. "Good, sir," he replied carefully. Ethan nodded and moved on. The moment stayed with him. Simple respect had been missing for too long. By midday, Ethan finally received a response. His assistant entered his office with a small smile. "They replied," she said. Ethan stood up quickly. "What did they say?" "They are willing to meet," she said. "Tomorrow morning. Private location." Ethan let out a slow breath, relief mixed with fear. Across the city, Ariana prepared her notes. She believed preparation showed respect. She did not plan to accuse. She planned to observe. That evening, she spoke with her mother on the phone. Her mother listened quietly. "Always stay true to yourself," her mother said, "no matter who sits across from you." Ariana smiled. "I will," she replied. That night, Ethan could not sleep. He replayed every moment from the event again. The refused handshake felt heavier now. He realized it was not a small act. It was a message. He practiced what he would say. Then he erased it from his mind. Words meant little without sincerity. Morning arrived. Ethan dressed carefully, no flashy tie, no loud colors. He wanted to appear human, not powerful. At the meeting location, Ariana arrived first. She sat calmly at the table. Her posture was relaxed. She did not look angry. She looked steady. When Ethan entered, he stopped for a moment. Seeing her again felt different. This time, he felt the weight of his past action. He stepped forward slowly. Before any business discussion, before any numbers or deals, Ethan did something simple. He extended his hand. The room was silent. Ariana looked at his hand. The moment held more meaning than any contract. And both of them knew this meeting was not just about money. The room stayed silent as Ethan Crow held out his hand. Time seemed to slow. Ariana Lewis looked at his face, not his hand. She searched for something real. Not fear. Not pride. Only truth. After a short pause, Ariana stood and gently shook his hand. Her grip was calm and firm. It was not a victory moment. It was a starting point. They both sat down. No one rushed to speak. The quiet felt respectful. "Thank you for meeting me," Ethan said first. His voice was steady but softer than before. "I know I made a mistake." Ariana listened without interrupting. She believed listening revealed more than speaking. "At the event," Ethan continued, "I acted poorly. I did not treat you with respect. That was wrong." He did not defend himself. He did not make excuses. That mattered. Ariana nodded slightly. "Respect is not about status," she said calmly. "It is about character." Ethan lowered his eyes for a moment. He felt the truth of her words. They spoke next about the company, about goals, about growth. Ariana asked careful questions. She wanted to understand how Ethan led his team, not just how he made money. Ethan answered honestly. He admitted pressure had changed him. He admitted fear of failure made him act proud. "I forgot where I came from," he said quietly. Ariana leaned back slightly. "Success tests people," she said. "Not everyone passes the test." The conversation continued. It was not smooth, but it was real. Ethan spoke less than usual. He listened more. Outside the meeting room, Ethan's assistant waited nervously. She had never seen her boss this quiet before. Inside, Ariana finally spoke clearly. "This meeting does not mean support," she said. "It means consideration." Ethan nodded. "I understand," he replied. She continued, "Leadership is not about control. It is about responsibility. Your company affects lives." The words hit him deeply. He thought of his employees, their families, their trust. "I want to do better," Ethan said. "Not just for business." Ariana studied him again. She believed people could change, but only if they accepted discomfort. The meeting ended without promises. No contracts were signed. No smiles for cameras. Just honest reflection. As they stood to leave, Ethan spoke again. "Whether or not you support us," he said, "thank you for holding me accountable." Ariana gave a small nod. "That is where growth begins." she replied. After Ethan left, Ariana remained seated for a moment. She looked out the window. She felt neither anger nor pride. She felt clarity. Back at the office, Ethan gathered his leadership team. He spoke openly for the first time in years. "I need to change," he said, "and this company needs to change with me." Some team members looked surprised. Others felt hopeful. He announced new policies: open communication, equal respect, training on leadership values. It was not perfect, but it was a start. Days passed. Ariana and her partners reviewed everything carefully. They watched actions, not words. Ethan followed through. He apologized publicly to his staff. He listened. He corrected behavior. Ariana noticed. One evening, Ariana received an update from her partner. "He is changing," the partner said, slowly but truly. Ariana smiled faintly. Change was rare but possible. She knew the final decision was near, and whatever she chose would send a message far beyond one company. Respect, once lost, was hard to earn back, but not impossible. Weeks passed after the meeting, and the city moved forward like nothing had happened. But inside Ethan Crow's company, everything was changing. Slowly, quietly, honestly. Ethan arrived at the office earlier than before. He no longer stayed hidden behind glass walls. He walked the floor, listened to conversations, and asked questions. Not to control, but to understand. At first, employees were unsure. They waited for the old Ethan to return. But he did not. In meetings, Ethan spoke less and listened more. When someone disagreed with him, he did not shut them down. He paused. He thought. Sometimes he even said, "You are right." Those words were new. One afternoon, Ethan stood in front of his leadership team. His voice was steady. "I want this company to be known for respect," he said. "Not fear, not ego." Some managers felt uncomfortable. Change was not easy, but they could see Ethan was serious. Across town, Ariana Lewis watched quietly. She did not visit the office. She did not call. She believed real change did not need an audience. Her partners brought reports. Employee feedback had improved. Turnover slowed. The atmosphere was different. "People feel safer speaking," one report said. Ariana nodded. This mattered more than profit charts. Still, one concern remained. Change under pressure could fade once the pressure was gone. Ariana wanted to be sure this was not temporary. At the same time, Ethan faced another challenge. A public interview was scheduled. Media wanted answers about the delayed funding. This was a moment where the old Ethan would have defended himself. This time was different. During the interview, Ethan spoke calmly. "We are reviewing our values," he said. "Growth means nothing without respect." The interviewer looked surprised. Ethan continued, "Leadership starts with how we treat people, especially when no one is watching." The clip spread quietly online. Not viral, not dramatic, but real. Ariana saw the interview that evening. She did not smile. She did not frown. She watched carefully. Later that night, she spoke with her partners again. "He is changing," one said. "But the decision is yours." Ariana leaned back and thought deeply. She remembered her younger self. Being ignored, being judged. She also remembered leaders who gave her chances. "This is not about forgiveness," she said. "It is about direction." The next morning, Ethan received a message, another meeting request. This time initiated by Ariana. His hands paused over the desk. He felt nervous again. But this fear felt different. It was honest. The meeting was simple. No tension, no pressure. "I have been watching," Ariana said. "Your actions matter more than words." Ethan nodded. "I understand." She continued, "Support is possible, but it will come with accountability." Ethan did not hesitate. "I accept." This was the turning point. Ariana's firm agreed to move forward, not fully, but in stages. Trust would be built step by step. When the news reached the company, there was no celebration, only relief. And focus. Employees felt seen, heard. Ethan stood alone in his office that evening. The skyline looked the same, but he was not. He finally understood something simple yet powerful. Power did not come from standing above others. It came from standing with them. And across the city, Ariana closed her laptop and turned off the lights. She felt calm. Change had begun. The weeks that followed felt different for everyone involved. The company moved forward carefully, one step at a time. No big announcements were made. No public praise was given. Everything happened quietly with purpose. Ethan Crow stayed true to his promise. He met with small teams instead of only top managers. He listened to concerns without interrupting. When mistakes happened, he focused on solutions, not blame. Employees slowly stopped fearing his presence. One afternoon, Ethan visited a department he had never entered before. The room was simple and busy. People worked closely together. When he walked in, the room became quiet. "I am not here to inspect," Ethan said gently. "I am here to learn." The employees relaxed. One woman spoke up and shared an idea that had been ignored for months. Ethan listened fully. He asked questions. He thanked her. That idea later helped solve a long-standing problem. Word spread quickly inside the company. People began to believe the change was real. Across town, Ariana Lewis continued her work as usual. She did not interfere. She did not guide Ethan directly. She believed true growth came from within, not from instruction. Her firm reviewed progress reports weekly. Each one showed improvement, not just in numbers, but in culture. One partner asked, "Do you regret giving him a chance?" Ariana thought for a moment. "No," she said. because the lesson reached more than one person. Meanwhile, Ethan faced a moment he never expected. The company hosted another industry event, smaller than the last one. This time Ethan personally welcomed guests at the door. He greeted everyone the same way, no checking status, no judging appearance, just respect. When Ariana arrived, the room noticed. She walked in calmly, dressed simply, confident as always. Ethan stepped forward and greeted her first. Not loudly, not for attention, just sincerely. "Welcome," he said. Ariana nodded. "Thank you." There was no tension this time. No whispers, just quiet awareness. During the event, Ethan publicly spoke about leadership. He did not mention names. He did not mention past mistakes. He spoke about growth. "I learned that success means nothing if people feel unseen," he said. "We must lead with respect." People listened carefully. Ariana watched from the side of the room. She did not need applause. She saw the change clearly. Later that evening, Ariana and Ethan spoke privately again. This time the conversation was lighter. "You handled tonight well," Ariana said. Ethan smiled slightly. "I am still learning," she replied. "Learning never stops." Before leaving, Ariana gave Ethan one final reminder. "Remember," she said, "people may forget words, but they remember how you make them feel." Ethan nodded. He would never forget that sentence. As Ariana left, Ethan stood still for a moment. He watched her walk away with quiet strength. He knew she had changed his path. The next morning, news spread through the company. The next stage of investment had been approved. There was relief, but no celebration. Employees simply went back to work, feeling safer than before. Ethan gathered everyone and spoke briefly. "This opportunity exists because of trust," he said, "and trust must be protected every day." People believed him. Across the city, Ariana read the final report. She closed the file and smiled softly. The story was no longer about a refused handshake, it was about what happened after, and only one part remained. Time passed, and the changes inside the company became part of daily life. What once felt new and uncertain now felt normal. Respect was no longer something discussed only in meetings. It was practiced in small moments every day. Ethan Crow was no longer the loudest voice in the room. He did not need to be. He learned that leadership did not mean standing above others. It meant standing beside them. When problems appeared, he asked for ideas. When success came, he shared credit. Employees noticed. New hires felt safe from their first day. Long-time workers felt valued again. The company grew not just in size but in strength. One morning, Ethan received a letter from a former employee. The letter thanked him for the changes. It spoke about how the workplace now felt fair and human. Ethan read the letter twice. It meant more than any award. Across town, Ariana Lewis continued her work quietly. She moved from one project to another, helping businesses grow with strong values. She did not seek praise. She believed influence was strongest when it was silent. One afternoon, Ariana spoke at a small leadership gathering. "No cameras, no headlines, just conversation." She said, "True power is shown when we treat people with dignity, even when we think no one important is watching." The room stayed quiet. People listened closely. Back at the company, Ethan faced another challenge. A new executive candidate was recommended. The candidate had strong skills but a poor reputation for treating others badly. Old Ethan would have hired him without question. This time, Ethan said no. "Skills can be taught," he said. "Character cannot." His team nodded. They understood the new direction. Months later, the company released its annual report. Profits were stable. Growth was steady. But the most important section was new. It spoke about values, fairness, and leadership responsibility. Investors noticed. Employees noticed. The industry noticed. One evening, Ethan attended another large business event. He stood near the entrance greeting guests. A young woman stepped forward, nervous and unsure. She reached out her hand. Ethan smiled and shook it warmly. "Welcome," he said. The woman relaxed instantly. Across the room, Ariana observed quietly. She did not step forward. She did not need to. The lesson had already been learned. Later that night, Ethan stood alone on the balcony of the venue. The city lights spread out below him. He thought about the moment that started everything. The handshake he refused. The opportunity he almost lost. He understood now. That moment was not a failure. It was a mirror that showed him who he was and who he needed to become. At the same time, Ariana returned home and placed her keys on the table. She felt peaceful. She believed change did not always need loud endings. Sometimes the best endings were quiet. The story did not end with revenge, it ended with growth. It did not end with shame, it ended with understanding. And the lesson remained simple and clear. Respect costs nothing, but it can change everything.